I think he has a big personality. I think he copes with pressure really well. He has a lot of quality. He gives us different positions and been a key player for us.
What Gareth Southgate came out and said about Ben White is unacceptable, no matter which way you look at it. To have the manager of such a big nation come out and basically say that Ben White didn't want to be called up and never wants to play for his country is just ridiculous. Before I get into what Gareth Southgate said about Ben White, I'd like to ask you guys to please like, share and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. As Arsenal fans, we know Ben White. We see that he loves playing football, loves the club, and that he would not just say that he doesn't want to play football for no silly reason. But that's what Gareth Southgate was basically making out. There was already a narrative out there that Ben White doesn't like football and he just gets on with it like it's just a day job. But as you saw in that heartwarming interview when he signed his new contract, when all the players were naming things about Ben White, they said that he's a player who loves the club, would die for the club, and fights on the pitch like his life depends on it. Mikel Arteta is a manager of non-negotiables. Do you think he would really have Ben White in his starting 11 if he didn't have a good attitude and didn't want to play matches? It really is ludicrous that Gareth Southgate has come out and said this. I'll look at it at the angle that Ben White did say that he didn't want to be called up and doesn't want to play for his country. But even then, what does Southgate achieve by putting it out there into the open? Only to invite hate towards Ben White. And the fact that Arsenal announced Ben White's contract on the same day as the England squad announcement just goes to show that they knew that the England manager would come out and be so bold in his statements about Ben White. I was scrolling through Ben White's social media and I found tweets where he was so happy to be in the England squad. He felt so proud like any other player would. Even in his first interview when he got called into the 23 final man squad for the Euros, he said how delighted he was and that it was a dream come true. Nobody would just switch up and suddenly decide that they don't want to play for their country again without such a good reason. Athletic did put out an article that there was a squabble between Ben White and the assistant coach of England. Ben White was forced to do silly drills and wasn't being taken seriously. Ben White felt that he should be starting games, and I'm inclined to agree with him. I couldn't name players in the England squad that deserve to be playing consistently and more than Ben White, especially in the brilliant form he is in right now and was in the lead up to the World Cup. When players like Maguire are starting games with such little club football played and players like Jordan Henderson are still getting into the England squad, I fully understand Ben White's anger. It feels more political when it comes to the England squad selection rather than raw ability and quality. And this is why England will remain a nation that doesn't win anything. If selection is purely based off of politics and past successes and not current quality, likelihood of success is so small. Arsenal fans alone won't be disappointed to see Ben White not make the England squad, because it is so much better to know that he'll be fit and ready for when the international break is over. It's more personal disappointment for Ben White that he isn't playing for his country. It almost feels like Gareth Southgate used this as an opportunity to have a reason for never picking Ben White again. This all could have been dealt with internally, and that's what best managers in the world do. They don't go and just throw their players under the bus. Ben White is the perfect player for any sort of squad. Martin Odegaard said it perfectly in the contract announcement video. Everyone would want a Ben White. Somebody who can play at right back, overlap and invert in this new style of football. He can also do a job in midfield if you ask him to sit in front of the back four with his brilliant on-the-ball technical ability. And he can also play at centre-back, a place where England have struggled for quality in recent years. Could you imagine Ben White next to John Stones at centre-back? I don't think there will be many defences in the world, let alone in international football, that could boast having two technical players in the defensive position. Anyway, that's it for now, goodness. Please like, share and subscribe for more.